Over 150 years ago, in a plantation kitchen near Jackson, Tennessee, Lucinda Macklin, the head cook, created masterpieces of Southern cooking every day. With her culinary creativity and her knowledge of certain secrets of food preparation, Lucinda made her very own special sauces. She developed a variety of marinades and sauces full of diverse herbs, spices, and a whole lot of love. The thick and tangy barbecue sauce she made was so rich, it was poured into jars rather than bottles. Soon, Lucinda's delicious, authentic sauces became known all across the South. Lucinda Macklin was wise enough to realize that her gift for cooking wasn't truly a gift until it was given. So she passed her many recipes on to her daughter, Osabel, and Osabel imparted her knowledge to her daughter, Thelma. Thelma kept the tradition alive by passing those precious gifts to her son, Lamont Burns. And Lamont is still passing it on and on and on.
I'm Lamont Burns, inviting you to enjoy my great-grandmother Lucinda's recipes in every jar of the Lamont's authentic Southern marinade and barbecue sauce. You spend good money on meats, but you're probably not getting that good down-home flavor. Marinate your meat in Lamont's marinade. It puts the flavor from the skin to the bone, long before you ever cook it. Then add the Lamont's authentic Southern barbecue sauce, and I tell you, you got some good eating.
Twitch, OBS. OBS is great. Zoom seems to do a decent job at it, but StreamYard, as wonderful as it is, I wish they would improve upon that masking. Yes, I am getting over a cold. Something caught me a week ago. I'm pretty much over it now. It's just I probably got you hear the slight little hoarseness in my voice and a little bit of a cough there. But other than that, I'm okay. All right. So David, I gave you the link. There is David. I'm adding you to the. This is not David. This is Byron. Hey Byron, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I don't hear your voice. Why?
Oh, I don't know. Let me see.
Your microphone is not muted. It has to be connected because StreamYard won't let you in unless it's connected. So
You can't hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, good.
Perfect. Hi, welcome.
Thank you.
Great, great. You probably have some cool little stuff to show us in Blender or Lightwave.
Well, maybe.
Maybe? Okay, good, good. All right. So, and usually we get David Glenn in here. I hear it's fine. That's David Glenn responding. Okay, I guess he hears your voice. Okay, so let's see. More people are jumping in here. Great. Okay. Cool. So Byron, what did you want to share today? Give us a little bit of a synopsis of what you would like to share?
I don't know if anybody is in the northeast part of Tennessee, but on the 27th, we will be having our local Tri-Cities Blender users group meeting.
Oh, good. All right.
We'll have some demos. They'll be in Kingsport at the Inventor Center, a makerspace.
Okay, so this is going to be live and in person.
Yes, it'll be live and in person.
Oh, that'll be great. How many members do you have in your local Blenders group?
We have about 10.
So about 10 so far. It'll grow.
Yeah, we've been doing it for a long time. People come, people move, to other areas, but it stays around 10 to 12 people. But yeah, Dwayne is one of our members who always has interesting presentations to give.
Okay.
And I'll be teaching a class starting on the 22nd, again at the Inventor Center. So we may get some new people coming in from that class. It'll be a beginning class in Blender.
All right, very cool. So, are you familiar with Wonderfest?
Blenderfest,
No, Wonderfest.
Wonderfest.
Wonder.
I had just heard about it from you, and I know Dwayne is planning to go. I won't be able to go this year, but Dwayne is planning
It's
to go with
very
his family.
inexpensive. Here, I'm gonna share my screen real quick
Sure.
and then share a little bit about it. I will be speaking at Wonderfest. I do every year. Um, Let me share my screen. I'm going to share my entire screen. And I want to make sure I get the right, there we go. I think that's the right screen to share right there. Okay, then you should see my browser here.
Yes.
So Wonderfest USA, actually. Wonderfest USA. Actually, I can just do a search real quick. Oops, actually, I'm in the wrong thing. I want to be not in Facebook, but on the net. Okay, Wonderfest USA. So, that's interesting. There we go. That's it right there. Okay, this thing it blew me away the first year that I went. Um, I have been, and I've got something to show everybody too. Uh, I have been doing these 3D printed parts. I'll share here. Let me turn on my little camera light here. All right. So I have been doing these, been hired to be doing these little 3D camera parts. Um, let's see, will that click me up? And this is, I think I showed a little bit. This is the completed piece of one of the a custom little Starship saucer section. It's the top half. The dome will go right up here. So I've been printing these things for based on jobs I've been getting off of Facebook because I've been posting these little custom prints. Um, so I have been doing it for quite a number of people. And then someone said, "Listen, have you ever heard of Wonderfest?" I said, "No." Um, it ends up that a lot of the people that I was hired to do these 3D printing jobs were on the board of the Wonderfest uh, uh, convention. So they invited me down to speak. So Wonderfest is the nation's largest Scratch 3D build convention, and it's outstanding. So a lot of the artists now it's going to be on May 31st through June 1st. I'm going to be speaking on May 30th. Actually, I've got a full day Blender class on May 30th at Wonderfest in Louisville, Kentucky. So all the guys, a lot of the people who actually do the scratch building for Lucasfilm and or the Star Trek sets and the Star Wars sets, they're there and showing their models. The audience that goes there, unlike a convention like the Comic Cons, where the majority of the users there are there as spectators and enthusiasts, um, Wonderfest, all of the users that go there are actual builders. And it's a real joy to be around. I mean, there are a lot of young people, middle-aged people, and a lot of older people, a lot of old retired people from the South who love Star Trek and sci-fi and building models. And these models are just outstanding. So they have a competition. Let me see if I click on here. The pay to get in is cheap. Um, it's $55 for the entire convention. Right here, $55. One day pass is $25, obviously, because it's only a 2 day convention. It is inside of a hotel there. It's the Crown Valley Hotel, the Crown Hotel. I forget exactly the name, but yeah. So a lot of the actors from sci-fi movies. You can see. Let me see if I click here. Let's see what we're going to get. Here's the model contest. This is amazing. So you enter the model contest in various categories. I'm going to be entering two things this year. One is the Ultraman that I sculpted in Blender, and then I had a friend of mine actually do all the post processing work. We're going to enter it as a team. And the other one is a Buck Rogers for the 25th Century Starfighter. I didn't I didn't build that one. That one was payment for a job I was doing for a client. And this model was actually molded directly from the model that was actually used on set. So I decided to enter that one, have him post process it, and submit that one. So that's a fun one I want to submit. But the one that I'm most proud of is the sculpting of Ultraman that we're going to submit. But we'll see. I'll give a report once I get to Wonderfest how well it does in the competition. But this is the competition: senior divisions, teen divisions, junior divisions, and the models guys are outstanding. The ships can be tiny or they can be large, and they're all well lit and detailed with lights and sound cards. It's just amazing stuff. It's basically, I call it like a dollhouse for adults, for adult men. And the stuff is just crazy, out detailed, well manufactured, well engineered. So I'm going to be doing. Let me go to my website here. I'm going to be doing a full day um, Blender workshop for 3D printing. So, and that's going to be at Wonderfest. However, if you can't make it to Wonderfest, this is my website, chromeillusion.com. In fact, what I should do is put this in the chat box. In fact, I tell you what, I'll put the Wonderfest details into the chat box so you guys have access to that. And we got questions. Let me bring this up. Next time, try NVIDIA Broadcast, not as a replacement for StreamYard. But, oh, I didn't know NVIDIA had a broadcasting platform. It allows me to control the background. So NVIDIA, David, has a broadcasting platform similar to StreamYard and Zoom. I did not know this. This is new to me. Okay. I'll have to check that out. Um, okay, show us the Ultraman. Let's see, do I have another one around here somewhere? Gosh darn it. I may not have one. I'm looking around my room here. Um, Here, I'll find Ultraman in Blender. I'll show you what I used a combination of Blender and ZBrush to do the Ultraman, to be totally honest. But um, yeah, Mac Nonsense says, show us the Ultraman. Yeah. So the actual model that we're going to submit is at my friend's. He lives somewhere in the Midwest. I forget. Um, Glenn says, you've used that in Zoom. Yeah, I've used that in Zoom. So, David, what are you talking about? Use what in Zoom? I'm confused. You can jump on and chat if you want. It's up to you. Um, you were talking about NVIDIA Broadcast, so I'm assuming that's another platform, a broadcasting platform that NVIDIA has just put out, which I will be willing to definitely give a try. So what was I going to show? Yes, okay. So I put that link to, is that Wonderfest right there? Yeah, that's Wonderfest link here. I'll give you the link to my website, and then I'll bring up what I was going to show you my website real quick. Okay, there you go. So that's the link to my website, and that's where you can find the workshops I'm doing. So if I go to my workshops page, go to the Blender 3D right down here at the bottom. And we've got, let's see, where is it? Here it is, Wonderfest workshop right there. It is a paid workshop. It's an 8-hour day workshop from 10 a.m. to I think 6 p.m. or is it 5 p.m.? I forget. If I click on that one there, yeah, it's a paid workshop. Yeah, it's 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. At the Louisville convention. And if you're not there in person, you can join in live via Zoom. So you can still take the workshop from the comfort of your home. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll put this in the chat box for anybody who may be interested. Would love to have you on board. And it's limited seating. So if you're interested, go and sign up for it. After the class is over, I will be offering the 5-week Blender classes for 3D printing and intro to Blender as well. So all that's on my site. Just go and take a look at it. If you go to the workshops, if you're interested in the Blender or the Photoshop or the photography workshops that I do, click on the Blenders. I think that's what you guys would be more interested in, and they're all listed right here. Okay, and would love to have you join in. These are mostly 5-week workshops, with the exception of the Wonderfest one. So, yeah, so Wonderfest, I just fell in love with the convention. You get to meet in person, hang out in person with some of the top people in the industry. And they basically, I think it's on Friday and Saturday night, it's basically all the hotel rooms become party rooms, right? And some of the guests, let me just show you some of the guests here, because this is just a fun show. Let me see if I can find the list of guests. The guy that played in, what is his name? He played in Space 1999 as the pilot of the Eagle. He's pretty fun. I got to meet him in person during breakfast at the hotel. I'll tell you the story about that sometime. I guess let's see, where is their guest? Okay, there we go. Upcoming show, meet the guests. There we go. And they've got a very well-known awards show. I wasn't aware that had happened at Wonderfest. There we go. So Ruben Curtis, she was an actress in Star Trek 3 and 4, Next Generation. All these, you can check out all these guests here. I'll just kind of copy and paste these. So it's a really, really fun convention. Let's see, they've got Nick Tate was the guy that I was talking about from Space 1999. He didn't know what grits were. I had to explain what grits were, and I made a joke that we probably don't have grits in England. he flies all the way out here from England to go to this show. It's kind of fun. So yeah, just check this out. Oh, and she's really nice. Marta, she played. It Lost in Space. Was it Judy? She played Judy in Lost in Space, right? Marta Kristen, really nice lady. I got lots of little selfies with her. And others here. William Stout, who's a producer, director, designer. But yeah, come and check this out. It's really fun. Once you go, you'll be hooked, because the craftsmanship is just outstanding. So I'm the first person to introduce 3D printing and 3D design in a 3D program. Everybody else there. Hey, David's there. I just added you in, David. Hey, Dave. But we don't hear your voice. Get your microphone fixed, set up. There you go. There you go.
Sorry.
Yeah. So,
hey. And this is what you're seeing right now. The background's from through NVIDIA broadcasts. If you want me to talk to you about later, I will.
Okay, yeah, definitely. We got to talk about the NVIDIA broadcast. I've never heard of it. In fact, why don't you talk about it now, real quick? I'm curious. Okay,
NVIDIA broadcast is something that is. I think it's released, but it may be in public beta, which
Okay.
means that everybody could use it, but it may have bugs. I've had some curious things happen. It will replace any active camera through through this setup application. You got to have an NVIDIA card, obviously, to get it to work.
Right.
I have a 4080, so I'm cool with it.
80. I was the 5080 is kind of the newest one out now, isn't it?
I can't help it. The technology goes so fast.
Yeah, I've got a 40. If I got a 4080 I have a 4080 in a laptop. I wish it was a 4080 Ti, but that means I had to spend another $500 or so.
Yeah, this is one that came with the computer, and the computer, I bought it on time payments through Costco of all crazy things.
Oh gosh, yeah, I did the same thing, but I did it through Alienware.
Because Costco is based out here in Seattle. So I'm wearing my Seahawks t-shirt. Oops, it disappeared. I guess it doesn't like sponsorship.
Like, go Seahawks.
Let's see if I can get it to appear. No, it isn't going to appear.
You have to green thing on.
The minute I get up, it disappears. Because, yeah, my sister works at Lumen Field, so
Okay.
Seahawks. But yeah, it works through it basically you select it as a alternative to your integrated camera,
Right.
on your system, and it should work if you have an NVIDIA card. I do not know if you have what will happen if you have a AMD card.
Okay.
Because but
Yeah, if you put a link in the chat box where I can find more information on it.
If I can find it, I'll give it to you, definitely.
All right, that'll be cool. All right, cool. So we had Byron come and he wants to share. And Byron, you want to talk a little bit about what you might like to share?
Sure. I'm not quite sure how this works. If I wanted to show a scene, I could push present.
You would hit to present. You want to hit share entire screen. So look for the entire screen option.
Okay.
And then share your entire screen, not application.
Let me see if I got it right.
Actually, the only way for you to share is for me to stop sharing. So let me stop. Let's see. Let me stop sharing my screen real quick. So I'm going to remove mine. Okay, now go ahead and share yours.
Okay, and then let's see if I can find. This is a little video. Can you see this?
Not yet. I'm not seeing your screen pop up yet.
Okay, I may not be doing this right, but let me see if I can.
If you go down to wait a minute, it says stop screen share. Let me click that there. All right. Now I'll try it. Now if you go hit present on the bottom of StreamYard, you'll see an option that comes up that says share screen. Hit the share screen button, and then at the top of that, you'll see your entire screen to the far right, the top far right.
Screen and
so at the bottom, you see the present button. You click that.
Yes.
Go to share all screens. You should see it in the top right hand corner.
Oh, let's see.
So hit the button, hit the share screen, and then share entire screen.
I am not seeing the share entire screen.
That's odd. You should, because it's StreamYard. We all see the same thing.
I see share screen.
All right, they hit the share screen.
Okay. All right.
And then another window may pop up to ask you to share all screen or applications. You want the entire screen,
Oh, okay. Here we go. I think I've got it.
right? You got to click those buttons.
Yeah, it's all. Every one of these is different. Um,
And just read it. You can tell me what you're seeing so I can help you.
well, it says allow StreamYard.com to see your screen.
Yes.
And I don't have a yes. I've got an allow, but it's blocked out. Oh, wait
Yeah.
a minute.
Okay.
And then a not and not now was blocked, but the allow is not letting me.
Are you the Mac?
No, it's
All right.
a Windows machine. Okay,
Yeah.
entire screen. I think I've got it. Okay, Yeah, I think I've got it now. Okay, let's try this.
All right.
Can you see the? Can you
Not
see
yet.
a scene now?
I don't see anything coming up yet. What browser are you in?
Firefox.
Okay, that should be fine. Okay, let's see what's happening here. Oh, he just clicked off. He just left. Okay. It's probably a little bit of a problem with his system. Okay, he's coming back again. Let's see David Glenn. But I got you, David Glenn, here. I'm adding your interface to stage in video broadcast app. All right, he'll be back.
Okay.
He'll
I
be
just I just tried to do it myself. I did do the thing, and for some reason I got this, but
right.
let me see if I can get the app itself so I could show you the app. You stop this,
All right.
and then I'm going to go over and do share screen. You go and say share the screen, and yeah, that was the thing. I'm going to go entire screen,
Right.
and I'm going to hit screen 2, which I have the NVIDIA stuff on
All right.
there, and there you should see.
I see you. I got you live.
And this is the NVIDIA share screen.
Huh. All right.
You hook it up to your regular camera. You got a video, and then you know on the SteamYard, you should see a thing that says NVIDIA, video broadcast,
Right.
and you hook up to that. It hooks up to this right here.
So you can basically you can have multiple cameras possibly.
No, I only have one camera, but
Yeah.
this thing right here is behaving like a camera now.
Gotcha.
And like I can go in here and I can I can go to virtual background. There's also auto frame.
Very
Like
interesting.
that. You go like this, and I don't know. It's supposed to follow your face, but
Right.
it doesn't do well. Like I say, a lot of this is beta.
I kind of don't.
We got video noise removal,
Right.
which might be helpful, but I warn you, it's very intensive on your CPU. And that's with it on. I don't know if I'm any cleaner or dirtier or what, but you got that. And then we have eye contact. And what this does is I'll turn this on. A weird thing will happen. Now you see me that I'm looking at you.
Right.
And I'll turn it off. Now I'm looking off the screen. Looking at you. Looking at the screen. I mean,
Fun stuff to play with.
it is. There's a lot of little fun things to it. It's if you want me, I'll even paste it on the. I'll paste the website on the.
Yeah, that'll be great. Do that. And I just posted the NVIDIA broadcast link here for everybody to see, so everybody can go grab that. That's cool.
But it's very simple and easy, and of course you have down here, your GPU utilization works specifically with your NVIDIA card or modern NVIDIA card. I do not know if it will work with earlier RTX or GTX systems.
Okay.
But yeah, it's kind of cool. I can go here and I can change the background. Thing comes with a default background, and yeah, there was a couple other things I have here, which I won't. It'll take me a while to load those in.
Okay.
But there's a whole bunch of cool things. Let's see what I want to see what remove does. Let's try remove. Yeah, remove just removes your background. This is probably something that you would more or less want, because this makes this into like a green screen.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Uh-huh. It makes me, I am talking from the void.
This is cool.
Uh-huh.
So more people just jumped in. Welcome, Ace Hoffman. I'll just say hello, everybody. Buster66, welcome. Byron King, welcome. David Gleed is here. Essence, Magnosis, we said hello earlier. There's a lot more. So I got some cool stuff to share today in Blender. I think everybody's gonna find it practical.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to stop sharing your screen, Glenn, and I'm going to share my screen. Share screen, share my entire screen, and share the proper one. All right. Okay. All right. So Blender. Okay, we've got something interesting here. I'm going to share. I'm going to start with this, and then I'm going to kind of share. I thought it'd be nice to share a crowd, like creating crowds of people walking or running. Something different than what I've shown in my classes. And I think this may be a very practical application. So let me kind of talk about some of the concepts of what we're going to utilize here. And I'm going to start this from fresh. Let's go up here. I'm going to file menu new and start chat. And I'm going to just mute David's mic real quick because I can hear the soda can kind of going. I'm not going to save that. I'm going to close that out. Okay. And all right, let's go have some fun. I'm going to show you a concept that I'm going to utilize to create my crowd effect inside of Blender. And it's a neat little, cheap little technique, but I think a very practical technique. And if you want something to take on a different look, you have a consistent object, but you want some different look to it in some respect. And I'm going to start with something very simple. I'm going to bring in a cube, and then I'm going to bring in a plane. Let's put the cube up here right above that. Access. Let's bring in a plane, mesh, a plane there. I'm going to enlarge the plane, something like this. That can work. Let's apply those changes with the Control A, rotation and scale. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to subdivide this real quick. So tab, edit mode, right click, subdivide. Come down here to my options for the subdivide. And we go about, let's say 3 is fine. This will get the point across. And we're going to go to object mode. And we're back in with our plane and, of course, our object. Now, the whole idea is I want to create a crowd, right? With a minute, we're going to go and get a walking man off of Mixamo, and then we're going to create a crowd of walking people. But I want that crowd of walking people to look a little different somehow. But I want them all to look a little different based on one object or one walking man that I'm going to import inside of Blender. So here's the concept. And this is the texturing aspect of the concept. I'm going to give this cube a texture. All right, we'll come right over here, go to my materials option, give it a new material. We'll call it cube test. We'll call it cube color test. I can type right. I'll be doing great. There we go. Cube color test. Now, what I want to do is we've got a material added to our cube now. Okay, we're good to go. Now, let's bring up the shader panel. I'm going to just add an additional panel here. Just bring my cursor down to the bottom, getting the crosshairs and dragging it up. And that's going to split my window. And I'm going to change this bottom window into a shader editor. And we get to see our nodes for this one. Hit the N key to make that go away, so I have a little more real estate here. And I'm going to bring in an RGB value to plug into the color. Okay, so let's pull this on down. Let's go up here, hit that. I can change the color here, but we're going to bring in the node, right? So we're going to go to Shift A, go to Search, and I want the RGB. Let's see, RGB. Right, I think that's it there, isn't it? That's it. That's good. I'm going to plug that into the color, right? So what that means is we need to go to material mode up here, right? So Z key and click the material mode. I'm going to drink water here because my throat's still a little scratchy from this cold I'm getting over. What I need to have is cough drops, but I failed to pick up a bag from Costco. All right. So what I could do here is I could change it to any color I want. I've got my RGB wheel. Let's see if I could, let's get it a little closer. RGB wheel. I could change it to any color that I want. We'll just kind of put it at green or something like that. Okay. So what we want to do is I want to do multiples of this object, right? Oh, Byron is back. Okay, cool. I'm going to go. No, you're not on, Byron. Byron's not on at all. So Byron is in the Twitch box, but you're not inside a StreamYard. So it must be something going on with your system that keeps kicking you off, Byron. Just keep trying. Hang tight. We'll definitely bring you on to the second half of the presentation. So go ahead and keep trying. Then we'll bring you on a little bit later today. Okay, so I want to create multiples of this object. I want to instance this object, and I want this object to take on a different color per instance. And we can tell Blender to do that automatically for us. So this is going to fit into our concept of the crowd creation. So, all right, let's go play with this. What I want to do is I need to bring in a mixer node. We're gonna tell Blender to mix this with other colors, and for every instance to give it a different color. So I'm going to Shift A, go to my search, and see this. I've got a mixed color node right there. That's what I want. Mixed color. I'm going to take it and I'm going to drop it right here in between the actual color that I'm giving it and the principle. You notice it's changed, right? So if I disconnect this, pull this over here like so. There's your green, right? That's what we've given it. Or we can go to red. Doesn't matter. I'll keep it at green here. Let's get in close so we see what's going on here. And if I take it now and drop this node in between, you see what it's doing is that it's mixing it with this color right down here, which is white, which is why you get this off-colored muted green. The whole idea is I want to mix it with other colors. So what I need to do is I'm going to bring an object info node to tell it to use random colors. And then we're going to blend those colors so that every instance is going to have a different color. All right, so Shift A, go to my search, and object info, I see it already. I'm going to drop it right here. And if we get in close to object info, you're going to see that one of the options in here is a random at the very bottom. We got the color alpha, object index, material index. But we're interested in this random value. We want to switch it up with a different color for every instance. All right. Then we're going to do one other little thing. We're going to add in there a math node, and we're going to add in a color ramp. And the color ramp is going to be the thing that we're going to define what those colors are going to be. Okay. So I'm going to come with a Shift A, search. I want a math node. I'm going to go here and type in math. All right, come on. Shift A, search, and math right there. I'm going to drop it right down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this random value and just put it right here, this very top one, like that. We'll keep it at add, because we're going to add this to a color ramp. So we're taking the object, which is the Q. We're going to add this object to a color ramp series. So Shift A, search, and then color ramp right there. So color ramp basically redefines colors, right? And the two colors it's redefining at this moment by default is black and white. So if I attach this to the object is going to become a black and white image. So before I do anything else, let's connect the value to the factor of the color ramp right there. All right, I'm going to pull these off to the left a little bit. Now, we're going to use the color ramp to define what those colors are going to be. So, first of all, I think I'll keep the black. And then I'm going to add in a whole bunch of little nodes by hitting the plus symbol here. And I'm going to just place them strategically, spacing them out. I don't know if that's strategically or not, but I'm just going to place them onto the timeline. This one here, I'll pull this back. I'm going to change that color. Let's bring this all the way up to green. Well, it's already green. Let's go to yellow. Let's change this color. We'll bring this up to the higher value, to a red. Let's change this color. Oh, we'll go to this color. And we'll go to a blue. And if anybody has any questions, just type in the chat box. We'll see it. And now we get a dialogue going here. Let's change this one to magenta. Let's alter this one into a cyanish color. And this one, I suppose we can stay white there, but let's see what I'm missing here. I could go to orange, maybe something like that. Yeah, that'll be more exciting. Okay, so there it is. There's my color ramp. So I'm putting in colors that it's gonna be redefining the instance of this cube. Now we had a mixer node up here. What we want to do is plug in the color into the next B channel, and all that mixer is doing is mixing two colors. So A is with the original color green that I've set, and the B channel is going to be whatever colors are going to be based on this color ramp. So if I drag this and place it into the B, see that change? Well, what have we done here? Right? Well, this is what we've done. If I take this cube and say Shift D to duplicate it, boom, Shift D again, boom, Shift D again, boom. See, each one is a different color. It's going through that color wheel and altering the colors. Right, I'm gonna undo that one. Control Control Z. All right, I'll bring this back up. So looking at my colors on this one, let's see if I come over to here where it says add, I've got a 0.5 value. Let me bring it down. Let me see what a 0.2 is going to do for me here. Put the 2 instead, and yeah, we get, we'll see what 1 does. I'm just experimenting here. Almost like it's going to a pure color, huh? All right, let's see. We'll keep it at 0.1. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to instance this, right? So for this to work, that I found the best is you set this up ahead of time before you instance the object. All right, so basically we have the texture, it's done. You've got this nodal set up, and you can copy and paste this nodal setup to anything. So all I would really need to do is select these nodes right over here, copy them, paste them into any other surface or material, and connect it in, bleed it on in. Okay, so now what are we going to do here? If I set this up, we're going to instance this. If I come up here, I'm going to say, show me the wireframe. I'm going to instance this cube on this plane. All right, to do that, to accomplish that, select the cube, select the plane, Control P to parent, and keep transform. Okay. All right. So that was parented to the plane. Now we're going to instance it. In order to instance it, you select the plane. The plane knows that it's got something parented to it. So whatever you tell it to instance will be the thing that is parented to it. So you come right over here to your data property, which is that orange little object right there. Select it. And then what you're going to do is come down to the instance menu right there. It says instancing. Bring it down. And where do you want this cube to be instanced? On the vertices or the surface? We want it on the vertices. Select it and look at what we've got. Isn't that cool? So David says, thumbs up. Here they go to full screen, so it makes it a little easier for everybody to see. So now we got different colors on every single one. And what can we do? We don't want our crowd to be totally, equal distance from one another. So we can simply go inside edit mode and hit my, in fact, what I'll do is I'll go make it faster. I'll go to my solid mode so I can work quicker, and then go to X-ray so I can see my points. So I see now I can select my points and see my points. And if I go to the top view, may make this easier, right? So maybe I'll grab this one over here. I'll grab the move tool and kind of like move that there and move that there and move this here and grab this and just kind of move them around. We want, we're just moving points. And since everything's being instanced on the points, it goes where I tell the points to go. All right, I'm gonna just change it up. So break up that consistent pattern. All right. So this is basically what we're going to do, but I'll show you even more what we're going to do. We want to create a terrain that the crowd is actually going to stick to and follow along the terrain. So I'll create another plane. So go to object mode, Shift A, mesh, go to plane, make my plane bigger, and the S key like this. Okay. Let's apply, Control A, rotation and scale, go inside edit mode, and let's go ahead and subdivide this. And I'm going to subdivide it by 50 because I want to subdivide it to create this beautiful little terrain. Go back to object mode. And give it a subdivision surface. So go to my modifier, add a modifier, generate sub-Ds right there. I'll go up to 3 levels of view as well as render. Now add one more modifier, deform, and go to my displacement. And let's give it a displacement using procedural. So I'll come down here to the checkered flag and give it a new texture, or a new procedural texture. New, and then hit image or movie, and I'm going to go clouds there. All right, so go to my modifier. Let's see, am I in? Oh, make sure I am in object mode. Yes. Okay, why am I not getting displacement? Let's find out why. Displacement here. There it is. It was happening. It was just too small. Yeah, if I Control A again, just to make sure. Rotation and scale. There we go. There's for displacement. Okay, this is working. Okay, so the problem is that my texture is too small. So we go back down here to the texture surface. Go to the sizing here and increase my sizing. All right, I'm gonna go to 10. There we go. That's better. Let's go to 20. All right, that looks good. Okay, so let's turn off these lines, these edges. So turn off the wireframe so it's not so annoying. And what I need to do is grab the plane that the soldiers are on. So I'm going to call this. We're going to call it plane. I'm going to call it plane.cube. Don't worry, we're going to actually do a walking group of soldiers coming through. I want to just kind of show you the basic concepts first. Whenever I'm learning something new in Blender, I never start with something complicated, something basically simple shapes, simple objects, just to get the concept of the piece. Once I understand it, intrinsically understand it, then I can go and do whatever I want, right? So I'm going to pull in And I want these soldiers, let me hit the X key. I want them to be attached to the surface of the plane of every mound here. So what I will do is select the um, this should be there it is. That's my cube plane there. I misspelled it again. Dot cube. I want to call it plane dot cube. There we go. And we're going to give it a modifier. Go to the modifier, give it a deform. We're going to deform it. We'll deform it to the shape of our terrain there. And we're going to go to a shrink wrap. What do we shrink wrap it to? To this plane. Grab my eyedropper and click this. Boom. And there it is. Every single object will be attached to the surface of that plane, no matter where it is. And I can move it around and look at it go. Right? So if we get walking soldiers coming across the hills, they're going to be attached to the surface of that plane. And I can change the surface, right? So if I go to the surface and say, let's go back to the texture and let's give it 40. But we're going to make it stronger in terms of displacement, right? So the strength will make it really strong like this, right? See, it stays stuck. So if I select the plane and move it, and there we go. Now you notice that they're jumping a little bit because of the extreme, displacement going on here. If you find that happening, you need to change one of the specifications inside of your displacement. Go back to my modifier. This is my shrink wrap here. Instead of the nearest surface point, which is the wrap method, change it to project. And there we go. Now it stays smooth and attached. Does that make sense so far? All right, everything stays attached. Okay. One other little thing I like to do too is I like to not manipulate it from the plane, but manipulate it from an empty. So Shift S, 3D cursor to where I want it to be, right there, dead center of that plane. And then bring in an empty. So Shift A, empty. I'll bring in a big giant cube like that. Shift key, make the cube like big like this, right? So I can just click on the cube to move things around. So with the cube selected, let's select the plane first, then shift select the cube last, Control P, and object keep transformed. Keep transformed means keep the transformations, don't monkey with it, just attach it. All right, so now all I'll do is select the empty, and everything moves with it, right? It becomes easier. Right? If I go to rotate it, it isn't going to matter. Is that all making kind of sense now? A little bit. So what I'll do is, I think I'll do a little exercise where we'll go over to Mixamo and we will download a character, and we'll download a walk cycle, and then we'll bring in we'll kind of bring in a bunch of do a crowd type of effect, but we're going to use not this particular method. We're going to use another method, which is another method that I don't show in my advanced classes. In advanced classes, I'm showing it using geometry nodes. But this other method is just as effective. And but I figured it might be something to kind of show the group today. So, okay, so let's go have some fun. Let's go to Mixamo real quick. Let's go get a character. We're going to do this from scratch. Do it from scratch for the very beginning. So I'm going to come over. We will go to Mixamo.com and we will get a character. We're going to walk this all the way through. Okay, log in. And it should recognize me already. Go to Facebook. Keep drinking water here. Let's see. Continuous Stephen Burns. Adobe owns Mixamo. And I will put that into the chat box for everybody's convenience. There you go. So you go to Mixamo. So Mixamo is all these pre-made characters in motion capture data. And it's really kind of fun to work with. And I really wish Adobe would be more serious in updating this with a lot more motion capture data and characters. I haven't really seen much improvement since they purchased it. But I haven't heard any rumors of them letting it go, which they have a tendency to do that from time to time when they buy a new product and then later on decide, well, we don't want to support that product anymore. But it seems like they're hanging on to this. With the 3D movement happening right now, I think this could be a valuable a resource for them. Right up here at the top, you'll see next to the Mixamo logo, you have the characters and you have the animations. Right? So I want to go to my characters first. And we're going to pick a character. I want to do something fairly simple because I want to, use one character and then replicate it to make it look like they're slightly different characters. And I'm going to grab this guy here. He's a real simple, got a simple shirt, simple pants. I don't like that particular animation or motion capture data being applied. So we'll go over the animations. And what I want is a walk cycle. Okay. So I'm going to just put in walk right up here in the search box. And it should find all the walk cycles. There we go. And I want to, this one is, I think this is a female walking one. Yeah, feminine walking one, right? I'm going to kind of scroll down. I've got this one. I think this one is called, let's apply it. And here's the thing you want to pay attention to as well. They have this moving in space, which is fine if that's what you want. But what I want is something called walking in place. So on the right-hand side, at the very bottom, you see a checkbox that says in place. If I check it, there we go. It's going to walk in place. And that's not bad. Let's see what other types of walks we've got. This one is more of a monster walk. Let's see these other ones. This one is a dwarf walk. I don't think we want that. I think that original walk that we had. This is walk with briefcase. Let's take a look at this one here. Brutal to happy walk. Yeah, I think that one we had up here worked fine. I think this is that's the happy walk. It's going backwards. Let's try this one. There we go. I like that one. Let's do the walk in place. All right, that works. And we can slow them down or speed them up. That's what the overdrive is. It's 50 by default. Speed it up or slow it down. I'll keep it at 50 for now. All right, so what I want to do now is we've got our character, we've got our walk, we're happy with it. So why not just export this out? And we're going to export this out in a file format called FBX. So Filmbox is what it's a shortcut for. So FBX file. Let's click the download button right up here and download it. FBX with the skin, 30 frames a second. That's fine. Click download. All right, so where do I want to put it? Okay, I'm going to go find a spot on my lessons folder. So I'll go to my lessons folder and let's see if I have one already in here. I've got a lessons. We'll put it into the root of lessons. We'll make a new folder and call it Walk Cycle. The caps lock is on. Walk Cycle. There. All right, and double click it. And we're going to make a new folder inside there and call it FBX imports or exports. This is called walking.fbx. So I'm going to click save. Done. All right. So let's bring this inside of Blender. Okay, new file, file menu. Matter of fact, I could probably bring this save this file into that same folder, right? So let's go back up. Presentations, G Drive. I want the lessons folder right here. Let's go find it right over here to the left. And let's go find it here. Okay, that's interesting. Why am I not showing up here? There it is, right there in front of me. Okay, lessons folder, and then walk cycle. I think I called it right there. There it is. And I'm going to call this one the color separation tutorial. All right. Okay, so put that in there. And let's start fresh. Go to new and go to general. All right, so now we determined our character. We determined that what we want is to get our walk cycle moving at a regular basis. I'll show you some neat little techniques for that you're going to love. And this should be really handy for everybody. We're going to bring in an FBX file. In Lightwave, now somebody made a comment about when are we going to bring back, I just noticed this in the chat box, when we're going to bring back the Lightwave roundtable. You are in the Lightwave roundtable, the Lightwave and Blender roundtable. We have Deuce from Lightwave who will be on board. Let me go to my calendar here. Actually, I think it's on my website. again, I'll bring it on over real quick. I think I've got it listed on there. ChromeLotion.com. All right, if you go to About and you go to Speaking Schedule, you get to see all the gigs I will be involved in, including our broadcasts. And there it is, Deuce, right there. Saturday, May 10th. Lightwave 3D group will be here on our channel. They will be here. So Deuce will be bringing other people from the Lightwave team. Hopefully the guy that runs the Lightwave 3D group. I think he's over in England somewhere. Yeah, he's hopefully Deuce will be here. Hopefully those guys will be here as well, and they'll be here talking about the new Lightwave 2025 and the updates coming up. So be here for that, May 10th. All right, May 10th. You click on it. There's more details. There's the Twitch channel, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific time. Right? Okay, cool. All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're coming up on a 15-minute break, but what I want to do is I want to import the character in before we go. And we'll do a 15-minute break thing. File menu. Import. FBX. Okay? Let's go get our character under the Lessons folder. Go down to the Walk Cycle folder, which should be right there in front of me. FBX exports as we put it in, and there's my walking cycle. There she is, or he is. Let's go over to the layout, okay? So that we have our timeline. We can see our keyframes here now. Then it stops, right? Shift arrow key to the right, to the left, and then it stops. All right, we're going to do this one last thing before we go on break. The whole idea is that you want to keep that walking motion going all the time. To accomplish, so you want this in a cyclical technique. So it ends and then it should start up again. So I want to add a cyclical effect to this. Now to do so, to accomplish this, we're going to go right over here and change the timeline into a graph editor right below the timeline option under the animation menu. Graph editor, there's your graph editor right there, right? All you're going to do is, with all your keyframes highlighted, which is what we're looking at here, is basically a series of keyframes. You come over to the right-hand side, the far right-hand side, you'll see a vertical tab, F-curve, modifiers, and view. Go to modifiers. This is the same thing as modifiers for our objects that we have with the Blue Ridge, except this works with curves. So if I drop this down, I have an option right dead center called Cycles. Boom. There. Right? So now, play. And it will keep doing that forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Okay? So, neat little trick. Now, we're going to take a break. I got to go get my 15-minute timer. And what we're going to do is we come back.
Over 150 years ago, in a plantation kitchen near Jackson, Tennessee, Lucinda Macklin, the head cook, created masterpieces of Southern cooking every day. With her culinary creativity and her knowledge of certain secrets of food preparation, Lucinda made her very own special sauces. She developed a variety of marinades and sauces full of diverse herbs, spices, and a whole lot of love. The thick and tangy barbecue sauce she made was so rich, it was poured into jars rather than bottles. Soon, Lucinda's delicious, authentic sauces became known all across the South. Lucinda Macklin was wise enough to realize that her gift for cooking wasn't truly a gift until it was given. So she passed her many recipes on to her daughter Osabel, and Osabel imparted her knowledge to her daughter Thelma. Thelma kept the tradition alive by passing those precious gifts to her son, Lamont Burns, and Lamont is still passing it on and on and on.
I'm Lamont Burns, inviting you to enjoy my great-grandmother Lucinda's recipes in every jar of the Lamont's authentic Southern marinade and barbecue sauce. You spend good money on meats, but you're probably not getting that good down-home flavor. Marinate your meat in Lamont's marinade. It puts the flavor from the skin to the bone, long before you ever cook it. Then add the Lamont's authentic Southern barbecue sauce, and I tell you, you got some good eating.
Try using Chrome browser. That's what I use, and see if you have better luck. I'm just curious. But anyways, I'll keep going with the presentation. So what we've done so far is with the Mixamo, brought in the character from Mixamo. Right? Let me see if I've got Mixamo handy here and I can just share real quick. There we go. So we went to Mixamo, grabbed the character, did the walk in place, downloaded it to export it out as an FBX. All right. We imported the FBX file, import. FBX is the option, and we brought that into Blender. And then what we did was we applied a modifier in cyclical fashion so that the walk goes on forever and ever and ever. Isn't that fun so far? So let's make the screen larger so it's easier to just focus on the interface. Okay, here we go. Let's have some fun. And ask questions too. I'll keep my eye on the chat box. Let's see. Cool. All right. Very good. There's our walking guy. And let's go ahead and apply this differently. So I'm going to stop the walk. We're going to get a plane. Shift A, mesh, plane. Now, I'm going to do this differently than what I showed you earlier, right? So earlier I showed you guys how to use the instancing on a plane by using the points on the plane. I'm going to do it differently this time. I'm going to use particles, a particle system, to instance the character on a plane. It'll give me some variety here. So I'll make the plane a little bit larger. Hit the S keys, select the plane first, hit the S key for scale. We'll take it right about like that. I'm just eyeing it, basically. All right, not Shift A, but Control A, apply rotation and scale. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn this into a particle system. We'll come right over here to the right-hand side, hit that particle system option, which is that little blue dot with the 3 dots emanating off to the bottom right. Hit the plus, and we just added a particle system, right? So now this becomes a particle system. As you can see, but we're not interested in it shooting off particles, right? We're interested in placing the object. I'm going to turn this back into the timeline instead of the graph editor. There we go. So timeline, this particles. We're going to instead tell it to be hair there. So what this does is it gets rid of the emitting particles, but it instead replaces those emitting particles with locations on the plane in a form of hair standing straight up. Okay, so Byron says, okay, he's got it. Great. He'll probably try Chrome to get in. The one thing that he forgot was the walk in place button. Had to kill that track in the graph editor. All right, now I can limit my particles. I don't want that many people. I want to kind of just kind of play around with this. I got 1,000, right? So we're gonna bring this way down to maybe I've got we'll do 25. We'll do 26. That's fine. So we got 26 hairs placed here. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go down to the render option. Open up that render, and you got a render as a path, right? That's what that hair is. It's basically a path of sorts, as we can see here. You want to render this instead as an object. So you want each of those paths to become an object. So select the object, and the object, actually, this is what I want to do. I don't want to do this just yet. Not just yet. I'm jumping ahead of myself because what we want to do is we want to apply that technique where we change the color of the clothing based on the instance option. So let's do that now. Let's get that started ahead of time. So I'm going to select the shirt. Now we need to go over here into our material view. And of course, we already have a material. And it's using photographic information for this shirt. We'll start off with the shirt. So with the shirt tagged here, I'm going to change my timeline over to the shader editor. And you get to see what this is made up with, right? So here is my color node for that shirt. I'm just going to pull the rest of these out of the way, by the way. And we get up here. There is, it's called Remy Top Diffuse, right? So that's basically the shirt. If I disconnect this, you can see the shirt goes away. The texture on that shirt goes away. So we're going to plug it back into the base color, and there is our shirt. Okay, so we want to use that technique where that shirt's going to change color based on the instance. Okay, so what I'm going to do is set up that system. Now, what I could do is copy and paste it, right? Remember those node settings? In fact, I just opened up another version of Blender. I'm going to bring it on over real quick. And right down here is basically my node setup. Right there. It's basically this is the original texture plugged in, but it's basically these guys here. If I hold the shift key and select all of these right there, that's what I want, these four guys there. So I'm going to Control C for copy from one Blender application, get it out of the way, and come back over to the second one that I'm working with on you guys, working with you guys here, and hit Control V. Oh, why didn't it work? The clipboard is empty. Interesting. I had this working before. Really interesting. All right. I hit the N key to get that out of the way. No big deal. I can set it up manually, I suppose. Let me go try it again. Let me select these again. Let me see if I can get this. Control C. Even if I drag and drop it, I guess I can't do that. You can copy and paste from one Blender application to another. I know it. I've done it. Um, I've done it 100 times. So, in fact, I did it last night. I'm going to select them, Control C once again. Click here, Control V. I don't know what's happening. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do it manually. So, we want a mixer node. There's our texture here. Get a mixer node, Shift A, search. It should remember everything. So, there's my mixed color right there. Go and drop it in. And we can see that the color is changing already based on the chosen color right down here in the mixer node. It's mixing it with white, the original color is white. All right, so from here we're going to set up an object info because we need to give it a random feature, right? So Shift A, and I want to go to an object info. I'm going to set it right down here because we want the what? We want the random feature in the object info to distribute the colors over the different instances. All right, now I'm going to go to add the math node, Shift A, get a math node, search. It may still be here. It remembers. And I'm going to get one more, the color mixer, and Shift A, search. I want the color ramp right there. Okay, there we go. So get our random and connect it to the top value there. We'll leave it at 0.5 for now. I tell you what, the 0.1 worked pretty well last time, didn't it? So we'll go 0.1. Then we're going to connect the value to the factor, and we need to put our colors in. So let's do that now. I'm going to keep one blank. Let's go ahead and add this in, add a few more nodes. And then we'll just kind of redistribute these throughout the little space here. And let's see, somebody had a comment here. I think it's broken, but it doesn't work for me. And 4.4, okay, it doesn't work for me. I'm not quite sure what you mean. Okay, then we go to this first one. We're going to give it a different colored shirt. Let's say a blue colored shirt. Let's go to this one here, and let's give it a red colored shirt. Let's go to the next one, and let's give it a maybe an orange colored shirt. And grab this one, and let's give it probably green colored. That should work. We got white, we got black. And what we're going to do is under the multiply option for the mixer node, under the mixer node, we're going to give it a multiply option. Right here is mix, right? So if I select it, I want to go to multiply. Why? Because I want to mix the color with the current texture that's in there without damaging the texture itself. So this works like multiply in Photoshop. So it's a blend mode. There we go. There we go. So it's blending it and multiply. So now I'm going to go grab this color and put it into the B channel. Okay, a little bit of something happened. All right, now if I want to test this out, what I could do is just grab his shirt here, Shift D. It's very interesting. I'm not getting anything. That's odd. We'll kind of play with this further. Let's take a look at this. Let me go down here and experiment with this. Let's bring this up a little bit. Let's see what it does. Value to the factor. All right, that's all correct. Now, what I'm wondering is this. If I disconnect this, and I'm curious about something real quick. I'm going to try something real quick. Let's go to search and let's do the RGB because this is what I did last time. And this should, okay, there's the green. Factor, multiply. All right, so if I duplicate this shirt, right, now if I hit Shift D, I'm a little bit perplexed as to why we're not getting multiple different colors. We should be. I'm going to have to research this one out. It's the shirt is stretching because the bones are attached to it. The bones are attached to it, so I'm going to just have to trust myself on this one. Let me undo that there. Well, this something is happening because it's mixing. All right, so if I disconnect the color now and bring back the original texture of the shirt, so there's my mixer node. That's the factor is 0.5. Huh. Thought I would get a much stronger color out of this. Let me go to here. Let's go to 0.2. All right, I don't know what to say about this. Not quite sure if there's something in the file, but I'm going to just trust that it might work later on, but I'm going to keep going. So that's the shirt. Now, if we go to the pants, and again, I'm going to just select these nodes. This one here, 1, this 2, 3, 4. Those 4 nodes, copy it, Control C. Now click on the pants, and now we've got the setup for the pants. As you can see, it's a new setup. Let's get it close here. Now Control V, and there it is. Okay. And all I'm going to do is disconnect the base color, put it into the A channel, and connect that to the base color here. Okay. Let's see, go back to here. There we go. I click on the shirt. Yep. Click on the pants. The same thing. All right. So I'm just going to have to trust myself on this one. I'm not quite sure why I'm not getting a visual change when I duplicate, but I'm going to follow it through and just trust it. I'm going to now do the shoes. Select the shoes. Just grab that color node there. Control V. And just disconnect that. Put it into the A channel. And then connect that to the base color. See that change there? A little bit. All right, now let's do the skin tone. All right, so I'm going to select the body itself. And you can see now we get the node set up for this, for the body. Now the body will do the same thing, but we're going to change the colors just a little different. We're going to change the colors so it matches more human skin tonality. So Control V, put this in. I hate codes. And I suppose what we could do is I could just take this one and drag it up here like this. And is it going to connect in? Nope, I got to do it manually. Get in close and connect the base color into the A channel. And then this to the base color up here. And you can see. And again, the skin tone should have changed to something different. But here, we don't want multi-colors like this. This is not skin tone. We're going to get some real skin tone here. So I'm going to delete all of these here. So minus, select it, hit the minus, 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 there. So we're going to start with this color, select it, hit that swatch box, and go to the eyedropper. Target the eyedropper and select the tone on his face like this. And then I'm going to go to this one here, hit the little color swatch here, grab the eyedropper and grab a lighter tone. Here what I'll do is I will just take this and make it a lighter tone, something like this. No, maybe not. Maybe what we'll do is we'll just grab this one, bring it on over, and grab this one. Let's go the opposite way. Because if I select this here, eyedropper, and select that one there. Now, take this one to a darker color. So we get darker skinned people will look like that. So what it will do is it should transition between each one, between a darker skinned person and a lighter skinned person. And that's how it should work. All right. So the hair, I guess we could do the same thing. We'll just go ahead and grab these 4 nodes and we'll do the same thing for the hair. All right, so I'm going to copy all those. I've got the gradient set up the way that I want it. Select the hair, and there's my color node right up here for the hair. Control V. Put this into the A slot, as you can see here. His hair went white there because it's taking on the white color of the shader box here. We're going to plug in the results into the base color here. Okay. Okay, so my nodes are set up. Now, we're done. We're done with the texturing. So hopefully what will happen is when this gets instanced, every single shirt, pants, shoes of each person will be changed. If it doesn't, then I got to do more research as to why this is not working on mixable characters. Look at the chat box. Let's see. New to streaming level. Okay, that was a note to me there. Checking the chat box here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our instancing here. So the first thing I want to do is I want to merge everything together. Let me go and go back into Z key solid mode here. I want to select all of the characteristics, the shirt, pants, shoes, everything, and merge them together into a single character. So if I select the skeleton, the armature here, I'm going to lock that down. And then I'm going to select the person. Actually, I want to lock down the plane too. So the plane there, I'm going to lock that down. Okay. So that way I can select everything in X-ray mode everything. Now, in order to merge it together, one of these has got to be bright orange. So I'm going to grab this body so it's a bright orange color. And then all I'm going to do is hit Control J to merge it all in. So now under the armature, all we have is one body. It's not multiple bodies. Like shirt, shoes, hands is all one body. Okay, that's going to make life so much easier. All right, so now we'll go back to our material mode. And if we play it, there's our character, right? He's walking. Now you notice everything has changed color, right? His pants are so this is telling me that something's working, and I'm hoping that this is going to work the way that I think it's going to work. I'm hoping. Should we bring in a HDR image in here to kind of like that scene a little bit better? We can do a little bit later. If we go to the render mode, Z key, go to render to see what it looks like. There's nothing there. Why don't we bring in an HDR type of environment? So we'll come down here at the bottom. We're in shader mode. I'm now in object. Let's go to the world mode. Okay. And go to the background, Control T. That's using Node Wrangler. And let's go tell it what background I have. So select open. I'm going to go over to my lessons folder. And I see in the lessons folder, I don't think I have the HDR images here, but I know where they are. So let me go to lessons. Actually, no, let me go over here to my 3D projects, my Blender files, and it should be a 0 HDR. I think it's 0 HDR. Or is it under HDR? Huh. All right. That's surprising. I don't know I did that. I know I put it under 0. HDR, assets, library. Okay. Let me try this. Let's try go back to my lessons folder. See, this is what happens when you get a little bit disorganized. You can't find things. Presentations, I'm pretty sure it's in here. There it is. HDRI is under the presentations folder. So I'll grab that. I've got this in thumbnail view mode. This is the new 4.4, so it has never cached these before. So these are my HDRs. HDRs are coming up real quick. And let's see, what should we use? We got lots of stuff here to use. We could use something with a foresty background, maybe. Here, we try that one, see what it looks like. No, that's boring. That's kind of odd. Let's do something without all the foliage and stuff in there. So I'll just go to the folder again. And let's get something without visual interest in there. How about something like that? There we go. That lights it up. Okay, that's cool. Now I'm going to go back to material mode here so I can work a little faster. All right, let's do our instancing. So we got one object. So what we'll do is want to select our object, which we already have. And we can see that it's one complete object. That's the only reason I selected, just to make sure that everything is one complete object. Go to my ground plane, and I've got to turn on the, there we go. We'll call this one, let's see if I turn it off and on. Good. We're going to call this one plane character walk. All right. So with that plane selected, it's a particle system, right? So I go to the particle system here. We go to the render option, go to the object. We're going to tell them what object to actually. I didn't rename that object. Once I merged them, I got armature. It's called body, right? So let's call this one walking man. Stay organized that way. I'm going to save this. Command Shift S. I'm going to put this inside the walk cycle folder, and we're going to call this one Twitch walk cycle. All right, go back to the plane. It's a particle system. Hair. Replace the hairs with the characters. So under the render, go to object, and the object we're going to go select um, walking man right there. There it is. Yeah, see, I knew this was going to happen. See, it's not changing my textures. It's not changing the color on the textures, which is very, very annoying. Huh. I got to find out why that is. Everybody saw I did that on the cube, worked perfectly on the cube. Why is it not working on these mixable characters? Good question. So anyways, there's a question I got to get answered. Why not find out? Will it be fixed 4 point? it'll be fixed at 4.4.01. You mean 4.4.0.1. It's like, why? Yeah, we just did it on the cube, and his clothing is nothing more than an object like the cube. So why is it not working here? Oh, it's so annoying. I got to figure out why. That's going to bug me until I get the figure out. Okay, so they're all coming in really small. That's no big deal. We're going to click on the plane, make sure the plane is selected. Go back to our particle emitter, and we're going to change the scale. So bring the scale back up to like that, right? All right, so my guy here, I'm going to take him up. I'm going to select him. We'll come back over here and get him. That's the walking man, which is part of this armature there, right? So I want to unlock that armature so I can select it so that I can just move him up and out. He's going to be up here like this. All right, so just get him out of there so we can kind of make a distinction. Let's see if we have new people jumping in here. There are some new people in here, but they're not showing up in the chat box. So, okay, there we go. So now, with this selected, we're going to go to Object. I want to select the object rotation based on this guy up here. So I want to turn that on, right? Now, before I turn that on, I want to go and change the height of each person. So I don't want the height so consistent. See, what I was hoping to happen in this tutorial was not only could I change the height, but I could change the color so it looks like individual people. So not quite sure what's happening here with the colors. But anyways, I can change the height. I can randomize the height like this. There. So each one's kind of got a little bit of a different height, giving some uniqueness to it. With the scale, that's the scale randomized. All right. So we use the scale to bring it back up to the normal height. Then we use the scale randomize to kind of randomize it a little bit. Now we're going to do the scale rotation. It depends on the direction. They're kind of facing in the right direction already. So if I play it, right, you've got this going on. Okay, now I'm gonna do something else. Let me stop the play. Let's grab the plane in edit mode. We gotta subdivide this plane. So subdivide the surface. Let's kind of get this out of here. Let's go back to my modeling view. Right click, subdivide again. Let's give it about, I'll say about 50. There we go. And we'll go to object view. There we go. All right. So this is what's nice about this particular technique is that I can subdivide it so it's going to move smoothly over stuff. We're going to bring in another plane, Shift A, mesh, and hit the S key and pull it on out. Something like this. Okay. Then I'm going to go to the scale and we're going to just kind of make it like this, like they're going to be moving, across this space. I'm going to Control A, set the rotation and scale. Now, go into here. This is going to be our little terrain area, right? Go to the edit view and go to my face editing view. And I think what I'll do is I'll manually do this with a Control R and slice, roll the scroll wheel till I get the number of slices that I need. I want this to be like a perfect square. So Control R again, going the lengthwise. I want to make it, that's good enough. Get out to object mode. Now I'm going to give it a subdivision surface because we're going to make this our heels, right? So add a sub D's, generate subdivision surface. I'm making a levels of view for 3 for both. All right. Now, after this, we're going to add in our displacement modifier. So deform, displace, and we need to give it some texture. So go to my texture option, new. We want clouds. There we go. So we can see this is happening in here. Not much of a, I'm going to give it an enhanced strength view, something like this. Hit the Z key, go to material mode. Go down to my texture, modify it, kind of make it larger. So we'll go, let's go 10. There we go. And I suppose I could go over to the Polyhaven. Actually, we'll do that now. So let me save this. Command and Control S, and let's go to Polyhaven. So another website which you guys should be very familiar with. We've gone over it several times already. So Polyhaven has some fantastic resources. And I want to go to my assets and I want to go to textures. I want some textures that's going to improve my ground. I kind of like this one here. Let me scroll down and see what else I've got. That rocky terrain is not bad. As I move across down, no, let's do this one. I've done that before. Let's do this one. I like that rocky terrain. Get something like that. Do it in 4K, download it, and I'm in the white walk cycle in my lessons folder. I'm going to make a new folder called images. And in the root of that folder, I'm going to just save that zip file. Open up the folder, double click it, and I'm going to go grab this whole textures folder. So right click, copy it, and then go to the root of images, paste it, and we're going to call this one rocky terrain, right? There are my images inside there. Those are the textures. But let's rename this one to rocky terrain. All right. So at this point, let's get back into Blender. Let's go get those textures. With that surface there selected, we're going to give it a material. All right, we'll call this one ground. And then if I go back to layout, I've got my, I remembered that I have my shader already down here. It's in the world view now, but if I go back to object view, there's my object options. So there's my principal VSDF shader. And I'm going to hit the Control Shift T because I'm going to bring in multiple textures under images, under rocky terrain. There they are. So I'm interested in this, let's see, that's the ambient occlusion. I want the color map. I want the displacement map. I want this is the normal map. Give you extra textures and your roughness map. And select add it, and there it is. Okay. Puts it in there already. So obviously this is too big. We got to reduce it down a lot smaller. And I suppose what we could do is come right over here to the mapping node. Let's see what we can do here. If we go to, let's go to scale. And I selected all of the X, Y, and Z values for scale, and I'm pulling it to the right. Something like that. Okay. Oops, the banner. I didn't see that. That was an accident. Sorry, guys. That was my fault. It's an accident. All right, this will be fine for now. Okay, so what we'll do is now we need to get this to be shrink wrapped. So if I select the plane, I want to make sure I've got everything selected accurately. Go to the modifier, add a modifier, deform, shrink wrap, get the eyedropper here, there. Okay. This is interesting. We're getting the different results on this one. Interesting. Nearest point, let's go to project on the surface. Okay, that's a little better, I think. If I play this, interesting. Let's go to our particle system. Okay, so hair dynamics. Let me click that. I want to just see what we've got in here. Let's see what this does. Look at the collisions, distance. I don't think I really need it. All right, so now I am very annoyed, still annoyed that the color isn't changing like it did in the previous tutorial. I gotta figure out why that is. And if let's go ahead and bring in an empty, let's bring in a cube. I'm gonna make it a little bit larger like so. In fact, I could just take it and put it out front, maybe easier to grab it that way. So if I select the plane, shift select the cube, command P or control P. And on Blender for the Mac, it is control, it's not command key, by the way. So control key, I said command, but it should be control, the one spelled out. Keep transform there. So now if I just select this, then, oh, that's interesting. What? Oh, I didn't parent the character to it. Oh, got it. Well, that's what it is. All right. Well, then let's put that back. Let me go back and do that parenting. And let's go to the character. Right, that will be this character, then the plane. All right, I gotta think this out here. All right, so let me take this plane. I'm gonna lock it because it's getting in the way. I'm gonna lock this plane here. Okay, select this guy, and then the base character. Command P, keep transform. So if I move this here, if I move this, got it. Yeah, I see what's going on. All right. So what's happened is I parented the body and not the skeleton. So I've got to undo that. All right. Now I'm going to select the skeleton. Shift select the body. Control P, keep transformed. So if I select the body, oh wow. Well, that's interesting. He is attached, but the instances on the hair is not. Why is the hair not staying attached? Now, this is really interesting, guys. This is really bizarre. I just did this thing last night, worked on it, and it attached perfectly. So this is throwing me some curves here. So why in the world would these not stay attached? So this is staying attached properly. Let me try something. Let me go back. It's the particle system. The particle system here should stay attached to this. So why would it not? So let me do this. Let me explore something real fast. Let me go to the object and say none. I'm going to go to my particle system. Right, so that's none. Go to the particle system, but increased enough. Okay, my hairs are not showing up. That's interesting. Now what's going on? Why are my hairs not showing up now? Huh. Very interesting. Do I got some bugs going on here? All right. I tell you what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that particle system. Okay. My character is attached. I'm going to redo the particle system. There. Now, take this down to only a few particles. Say, sometimes I'll just kind of just experiment. We'll say 50 particles. So, um, and what we want is a hair. There's the hair. Okay. Wasn't showing up before. So if I move this plane, see that it all should move together. See the hairs are moving with the terrain? That's what should be happening. So it must have been a bug. I just need to delete that. So if that's working, I should be able to go to my render setting and tell it to use my object, which is going to be, if I do the walking man, see the walking man is now walking to the terrain. Really bizarre. I don't know why I didn't honor that before. Working now. So I noticed sometimes when Blender starts making weird mistakes like that, I just delete those particle emitters and redo it again. Um, Now come back to scale, bring it up, back again. Now when I pull it, see everybody's moving to the terrain. All right, with the walking motion. So G key, moving across. Okay, you guys get the point. You can turn on your mic again, David. I saw you talking, but I didn't hear your voice. That's,
I wasn't talking. I was just nodding.
oh, okay. Yep, I hear you now. So that's what was going on. So there was a little bit of a bug in Blender. Let me go to, and I'm wondering if that bug is also playing with that, with the color with the shirt. I got to figure out why.
Yeah.
Um, the characters are leaning back a little bit. We can adjust that. I think we adjusted the size. We got randomization of the size there. So if I go down and grab that plane here, I don't have randomization of the size. It looks like there is a randomization of the size going on, but I don't have it set. So if I do scale, right there, randomize randomness.
You're trying to do this with a cold. Life is hell when you're trying to do things with a cold.
No, no. Well, yeah, it is. Yes, but this is definitely. It was purely a Blender bug. It should
Maybe.
it should have worked when I deleted it, and when I deleted the particle system and reestablished, it worked. Um, okay, if I grab this character here, actually, I want to grab the plane first. Show emitter is there. Object scale. I want object rotation. Now, you can do things with object rotation. The problem is it resets it like this, right? And what this allows you to do is I'm going to select my skeleton. I'm going to just stop playing it. Go to my rotation option, and you can do things like this. And you can control your rotation So if they're leaning back a little too much, I suppose I can get them leaning a little more forward. Ah, it's touchy. All right, so I've got them moving the wrong way. So I want to turn to see what this. Let's see if we go here, here. No, there. And bring it up. And let's rotate.
Where you got the little rotate dialog in the bottom left hand corner. You can.
Yeah, I could do that.
You have to mess around with the axes though to do that. I use that a lot. I think that's the one feature in Blender that I like the most.
It gives you a lot of options. Okay, let's go this way here. I want to go here. There we go. I'm just looking at the orientation of my character up here, just eyeing it visually. Is how I want everything oriented.
You're also got to factor in the fact that you've um, altered the character's position due to the fact that you're attaching it to the ground plane.
Yeah, yeah,
That's going to factor into your into the position because you're having them follow the contour of the ground plane courtesy of your shrink wrap.
yeah. Maybe. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's. I'm gonna select this here. Select my empty. Control P. Keep transformed, and I should be able to. This is what I did before. That's what I was trying to do before. Yeah, there you go. See?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there
You
you
can
go.
see they're kind of dancing around, kind of going left to right, or forward and back because they're walking on the terrain. They're not they're literally following the surface of your terrain, and
Yeah,
I ran into when I was doing the homework assignment that you gave me. I ran into a similar problem trying to get the characters to cling on to the uh, surface,
yeah,
vertically, so it would cling onto the surface and stay in one position, and in some cases the feet would
right,
dig into the ground. And I figured, well, the soldiers, it was great because I figured, well, I can make the thing in a desert.
right.
And it'd be just like something out of Dune.
Yeah, you can see that a little bit. But let me see something. There is an option where we don't have to use object rotation.
Mm-hmm.
Just take that off,
Yeah.
and that works.
Mm-hmm. Then it's just a bunch of
Yeah.
characters just going up and down. And
Let me see if you wanted to rotate them or something. You can. I'm gonna see if I can manipulate it with the character here. Now, normally, what you would have to do is select the bones because that's where your movement is coming from. Select the bones and let me see what happens if anything. No, yeah, nothing's happening. So
shouldn't.
yeah, it shouldn't. Okay.
Because you got them attached to the plane that you've modified, which, by
Yeah.
the way, is Z fighting with the walking plane. So if there was any way you could just turn that plane off,
What thing off?
The plane that you got all the objects attached to, all the men.
You can. You just select the plane. You come over here for your render options. So
Yeah.
hit the period key. Go to the render option. There's your character walk plane right there.
Uh huh.
Off the render here.
Yeah, but then
Never render.
yeah.
Right. That'll never render right there. Or to
Won't that
turn it.
also? Yeah. Won't that also shut off the?
It
Do it.
it's starting out. It shouldn't.
Just do
Oh,
a frame render and see what happens. Or
all
where I
right.
don't know where the camera is.
Here's my camera.
Yeah.
Let's go test it out. Camera to view. Here. Oh, it took
Crank,
them
crank.
off, huh?
That's what
Wait
I
a
was
minute.
worried about.
What was that?
That's what I was worried
Yeah, it
about.
shouldn't be okay there. Let me see. There is of a surface, but shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah,
I
I
know
thought
with
so
the
too.
emitter up
Because
here.
if you could do that, what you could do. I thought it was because if you could do that, my thought process was, well, if you could do that, you could take the original character and make it invisible in camera.
Well, you can. The digital character you can make invisible through the particle system.
But it also does the
Yeah.
all its imposters.
All right. The show emitter, you just turn that off. And then when I do a render,
Crank, crank, crank.
oh, that's weird. And that's never done that before.
Welcome to 4.4.
Yeah, I think it's buggy stuff happening here. Because show. Oh, wait a minute. It's unchecked. I checked it. Okay, let's do it again. All right, let's do it again. Let's do it F12.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not right. Uncheck it. Now let's do it again. Okay, there's something going on. I've done this before, and the emitter doesn't show. Like when I do asteroids using particle systems, then I tell the
Mhm.
emitter to go transparent. It goes transparent. So something's up with Blender right now.
Yeah, you got a cold.
Yeah, maybe that. But I
Get one
think
of
this.
the get one of these. I like it for a cold.
What is it?
This thing here called Nervage. Costs
I don't know.
about $100, and it's great for it's great for your sinuses.
Oh, really? Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right. I'll figure out and I'll share with you guys next time. Let me see what's happening next week. Next week calendar. Oh, we've got a special presenter next week.
Great.
Um, a guy that's doing these characters using 3D. I met him at WonderCon
Mm-hmm.
and asked him to come and show what he's doing on the broadcast. So he will be here next week.
Great.
And the name of his product is Chumpies. So
Uh-huh.
again, here I'll pull this all over. Go to my website, everybody. If you want to keep track of what we're doing, here I'll go give you guys the link again. Convolution.com. So yeah, I'll put it in the chat box for everybody's convenience. All right. So then here, go to the about schedule, speaking schedule. And he should be in here. So let's see, where are we? We're in April. And I've got a presentation to the Seattle Users Group, Functional User Group coming up next week. Also, you guys are welcome to to attend that as well. Um, I'll send out a link for that if anybody's interested.
Is that going to be in Seattle or is that going to just be online?
It's gonna be online. I won't be. They used to fly me to Seattle. It's the Adobe Seattle Adobe user group. They
Okay.
usually meet at the Adobe headquarters in Seattle, and they used to fly me out there. But Adobe's been a little bit tight on funding lately, so they couldn't.
Everybody's been tight on budget, even me.
Yeah, they've been so tight on budget that they can't fly anybody out. So they figured they'll just do it through Zoom. It'll be a live Zoom presentation. So they'll be there in person. I don't know if they're going to be at the Adobe headquarters when the presentation goes and they just projected me on screen. I think that's what they're doing. But I'll send that out to this group too. So I think you guys might be interested in some of the Photoshop magic that I will be sharing. Um, and then the intermediate Photoshop walk-in Photoshop class is coming up too. So again, go to my website. Let me go to the top here, and if you go to the workshops, I'll show you the Photoshop stuff here. Photoshop, and there's the intermediate class with the walk-in tablet. Really good class.
Hmm.
So I will, let's see, I will put that link in the chat box for everybody's convenience. That's all on Zoom. So wherever you are, you join us online on Zoom, and it's live and interactive.
That's my tablet. That's my tablet. I got it over at Best Buy for $59. Now they
Yeah.
do have the little Wallacom. I don't know if they call it Wallacom necessarily or not, but it is a projected tablet, and it's about $300.
There is one that I also use that's really quite good. It is Sense Lab. So I'm gonna go to Amazon real quick just to show you guys. Um, it's the Sense Lab is excellent.
Mm.
In a lot of ways, it's a little bit better in accuracy compared to the Wacom. And we go to it is XENCE Sense Labs, and all you need if you're interested in a tablet, all you need is the small version, but I like the medium. So here's the Sense Lab is $329, but for $329, this is what you're getting. Well, you have two versions, $329 and $224. Now, the $329, you're getting this control puck
Hmm.
right here. You're getting all of this. You're getting that control puck, which you can program any shortcuts you want. You're getting the full, the medium-sized tablet, and you're getting two pins, one with the 3 button and one with the 2 button.
Cool.
All right. And the other one, here, I'll just put this in the chat box too.
I think this one only has 2 buttons on it, so for $59.
Yeah, and this one, the other one is $229. The same exact thing. The difference is it doesn't come with the little control puck.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it? I had it up here. It disappeared. All right, let me go back again. Let me go forward again. Oops, actually, it's this one right here, isn't it? Yeah, $224. The only difference is that this one does not have the control puck.
Yeah.
We'll go back up to the top here, kind of drop me down. There we go. It has both pins. Gives you both the 3 button and the 2 button and the tablet, just not the control puck. For $224, that's just a steal.
Mm-hmm.
And if we deliver to my house, it comes tonight or overnight. That's overnight. We come tomorrow. The company supported me with the tablet, so it's a great product.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you firsthand, it's a great product. Um, Same size as the medium size of the Wacom too.
Yeah, I don't know if Come to think of it, I'm not 100% sure if the visual one, if that could be the Exxon Labs. I'm not too
Right.
sure.
Well, Sense Lab, let's go to their site. See, Sense Labs has the monitor version. All right.
I like the monitor version. I love the monitor version. I miss my Clinique,
I use Cintiq.
Cintiq.
Yeah.
It's
This
a
is
thousand miles away, unfortunately.
yeah. Pin displays. There we go. Pin displays. They've got a 24-inch, and I think they got a 16-inch.
Mm, yeah, the 24 inch is nice. The 16 is great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's see what
it's
this costs.
adequate.
Yeah, this is buy now. Okay, so let's see what the cost is on this.
They used to have a lot of sensitivity to them, so they also gave you that funny glove. That
Yeah, well, it does. Everybody gets the funny glove, even with the one that you buy with the tablets. I
yeah,
just showed you that it comes with the glove. I have my glove right here in front of
uh,
me. Uh, this is 18.99, and
uh,
that's pretty good. I mean, the Wacom Cintiq. Let's look at what that 24-inch costs.
oh,
The Wacom Pro products. They got a new one out. In fact, let me go back. Oh, come on.
yeah. This one's referred to as the Wacom One.
Yeah, I think this is
One by Wacom. That's it.
yeah, okay, that's kind of like the kids version.
Yeah, it's what the art schools give their students. I think they're so
This
darn cheap.
this is the new Intuos Pro.
Yeah,
And
it's sort of like a bargain basement. Uh,
they got look at this one. This is a nice.
yeah,
Those three buttons are there.
a nice little cushion.
That's nice. That's
Yeah.
different.
This one's old school. Mine is old school.
Yeah, this would be great. Let's see. Yeah, they've got the control buttons back on the tablet again. They always have. They were always there.
Hmm.
So yeah, this is the new Walk-in Intro. So I have to reach out to them about support for those as well.
Yeah, really.
Cool. I'll keep
I've
you
been
informed
practicing
with
on
this.
Photoshop with this guy, so
Yeah. So keep up with what I'm doing on my website, everybody. Um, I just created it. Just got done. Webmaster just finished it, and I'm real happy with it. If you go to the store section, this is really fun because I do these 3D prints also. I started. I was going to share. I'm just about done with that custom enterprise that I was sharing with you. Um, Here is the 3D prints. I think I shared with you the Proteus last time, which is this one here. Now you can kind of see this is about 200 millimeters in length, which is about 7 3/4 inch in length.
now are you selling the model or are you selling the plans?
The model,
Oh, okay. So you're printing it for them.
right? So basically, I built the model in Blender,
Yeah,
and then
I
3D printing but
Your bigger.
I'm not selling the STLs,
Oh, okay.
and it came out pretty well. I already got a bunch of orders on this,
Hmm.
so if it might interested in a little model like this. It's pretty well detailed. You're getting a first generation 3D print,
Hmm.
right? You're getting the original first generation 3D print.
The other thing is you gotta keep up with the orders.
Oh yeah, I mean, I price the structures so that you're getting quality. I'm not trying to do volume. I want to do quality.
Of course.
So yeah, come in here and check this out, everybody. I'd love to have you in the class. So um, the discount code ends this Tuesday. So if anybody's interested in registering for any of the Blender 3D classes, I've got just to go over this real quickly. Um, Going to the 3D class, the Blender classes. I've got the Blender for 3D printing coming up. That's a 5 week class, and I've got the Blender Introduction to Blender, which you're going to be in, David, because you never taken an intro class. Um, that's coming up too in August. So the modeling 3D for 3D printing class is to accommodate a lot of people who are going to be at Wonderfest and who don't know Blender and want to get an introduction to Blender to printing out their own stuff. Um, and then after that, I'm going to do an intro to 3D Blender, which is going to be a class that takes you from all the foundations of Blender, so that you get you filling in all those little gaps in your knowledge about Blender and its workflow, animation, modeling, um, rendering, texturing, all that stuff. And yeah, it's Blender Brilliance class is an advanced class. That's what we're doing right now. The Blender class is going right now. So this won't be up here much longer. But I will offer that again later on.
Hmm.
Um, and then the Wonderfest class right here, right? That's the full 8 hour class. You don't have to be at Wonderfest. You can join from the comfort of your home, but you'll be there live with us during Winterfest when we have the class.
Mm.
The class will be recorded. All right, so that's it for today. This is great. Normally I would say thank you, David, and thank you everybody else, but it's just me presenting today.
I am. I got tied up in. I got between finding a place to live and doing the homework assignment.
So how's
Uh,
that?
I kind of got tied up. Plus, I'm having to talk to some of my friends. Call me up and talk to me. They got their political issues that they hit me up for because I'm part of the Don't Touch group that my sister started. Is part of out here in Washington State. So
Wow.
they're doing the protest thing that I heard last Saturday attracted like thousands of Americans. So.
It's going all over the country, and the mainstream media is not covering it.
Yeah, they're kind of giving it they're giving it a little bit of lip service, but gosh, it's a long walk. It was a long walk for me to go from where I'm living here over to this bridge and back up a hill, carrying a sign. So
They'll figure out a way to
out
do
here we're very liberal, so it's like you don't have too much too much argument of a crowd here, particularly if you're a senior citizen and you're living on Medicare and Social Security.
Yeah.
But anyway, I get too political. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we got. Well, no worry. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Yep.
So, thank you all for being here. This is great. It's great to see we had to get quite a few people today. So, um, if I can trust these numbers, but we'll be back next week. And I think, yeah, next week we got a special presenter. So we got the guy from Chompies coming, so that's gonna be a fun one.
I'll be looking forward to that one.
Okay, all right, buddy, and everybody have a great day. And I'm off to my next adventure. Let's see, Byron is here, and Byron had a comment. Also, you did distances with the cube. Oh, okay. Byron Bay is making a good point here. Uh, I did distances with the cube, but particles with the people. You could duplicate the character and then put them in a collection.
Hmm.
I think the color change will work. Okay, Byron, I will do that. I'll do that after we done after I sign off for the broadcast. Okay,
Now, one
maybe.
of one of the things that I thought about doing was there's a way to index your plane. I
Okay,
don't know, and it makes it uniform.
okay,
I've done it before with one of the displays that I did in uh, geometry nodes for the kind of the the retrofuturistic display that I created,
yeah,
and with dots. And I can't see why you couldn't do that with the characters. The only thing is that then you got a uniform group, and you don't necessarily want a uniform group. You want more of a rabble, sort of an independent rabble, and not anything that is necessarily uniform. That's the whole idea of going to a particle system, is to get that kind of rabble like you
right.
know,
It's
and
better. It's better in geometry nodes, but I would like to work it out with the particle system just as have an option. Uh,
mhm.
but Byron, I'll definitely will do that. So basically, um, let's see, you can set up a Boyd system in Blender. Okay,
Hmm.
let me check this here. So put them into so basically put the character into a collection, and then instance.
Mhm. Yeah.
Instance.
It has to do with indexing the characters, and you
Okay,
have to modify the characters. I guess you modify the characters in the index,
okay,
and it's not terribly different from what you were trying to do with the blocks, but
right.
you know,
I'll
I
play
don't
around
know.
with this.
I'm kind of like you. I'm kind of mystified that that didn't work.
Yeah, it should have. I mean, to me, logically, based on the concept, it should have worked, but it doesn't. And it's a blender
Yeah,
thing, I think.
I got my homework done. I'm gonna load that, but I'll take a look at the. I'll take a look at this and see if what I could find. So
Okay.
hopefully.